we're going to talk about how to choose material for your kids' ministry. While some leaders write their own material, many choose a pre-written curriculum to use or adapt for their own context. With so many curriculums available, it can be hard to know where to start. Your church is unique, so here are some ideas to think through when choosing a pre-written curriculum that will be a good fit for your church. Think about vision and values of your church. Your children's ministry shouldn't actually be separate from the rest of the church, but deeply a part of it, having shared vision, values and culture. Look for a curriculum that not only fits within the vision of your church in terms of its content, but also allows the leaders to operate within the values of the church. For example, if your vision is to know God and make Him known, ask yourself whether the material helps your children not only to know God for themselves, but also to share Him with others. And if your church values being relationally committed to one another, does it give scope for your leaders to mentor kids relationally? Or is it designed for leaders to simply communicate information from the front? It's important to consider the theology of the curriculum you're exploring. Not only do you want the curriculum to align with your church's theological beliefs, but you also want to ensure that it delivers lessons which line up with your church's theology of childhood. Of course, we want curriculum to be age appropriate, but need to ensure that when theology is presented simply, it has not become inadequate and compromised. We love this funny, sad and all too true cartoon, which is a reminder that we can too easily let every rich story of the Bible and in the application be nice to your sibling and clean your room. Look for a curriculum that points to God's grace, Jesus' salvation, and the Holy Spirit's power. An important consideration is a curriculum's approach to learning and engagement. Do the activities cater for a variety of learning styles? Is it mostly listening, or is there discussion or hands-on activities? Ensure that the curriculum has the kids opening the Bible for themselves and applying it to their lives. We can't afford to make kids' ministry purely intellectual. We need to make space for the Spirit of God and His Word to bring about heart transformation. It's helpful to consider the scope and sequence of a new curriculum. Many curriculums will directly address this question in the introductory pages. You may have a preference as to whether lessons progress chronologically through the Bible or are topic-based, or you may want to mix it up. Think about how long the curriculum will last. Some material only lasts for a few weeks, while other material is written for birth through to high school. Make sure that the stories aren't too repetitive and that the kids are engaging with new stories or the same stories from a different angle, as well as a variety of activities. The Bible should be anything but boring. Consider the age appropriateness of the curriculum for your particular group. It's good to think through not only the developmental stages of the children in your group, but also their growing faith. Does this curriculum encourage children to move closer to Jesus and to think through where they sense God drawing them to trust Him and align their thinking with the way of Jesus? Another important consideration is family engagement. A good curriculum will help parents engage and take interest in what their children are discovering. A great curriculum will support parents in taking primarily responsibility, even taking the lead for their child's spiritual nurture. Check out this tip from Brent from Mooroolaba Baptist Church.
I just want to talk about the importance of take-home papers as a tool to help partner with parents, particularly when that paper is a pre-program paper that tells the parents what's coming up next week rather than what we've done today. It's a great way to say to parents, look, you're the primary spiritual nurturers of your children. Rather than saying, here's what we did today, now you do something with your children, we want to say, here's something that's coming up next week. You have first go at telling your children the Bible story, unpacking it with them, having conversations about that story before they come to church on Sunday. And that's a great way of saying to parents, look, this is your job, we're going to support you by following that up on Sunday. And I think it's a great way to partner with parents in that way. Finally,
you'll need to think through the practicalities of the material and your group. Will it work with the number of children you have, and does it fit within your allocated budget? Do you have the supplies, equipment, and enough volunteers to make it work well? Is the amount of preparation required practical for your volunteers? You'll need to think through each of these areas to ensure that curriculum is actually helpful. Let's be honest, it's rare that you'll find the perfect curriculum. So perhaps the most important question to ask is, can it be adapted to meet the opportunities or limitations of our context? We suggest that whenever you consider a new curriculum, that you go through each of the above checkpoints to see what makes it a great fit and what areas might need to be adapted. Just because a curriculum doesn't meet all of the criteria doesn't mean it can't be used. You might simply discover that you need to add in some more hands-on activities, or find a way to help parents engage in the material, or perhaps find extra leaders to facilitate great small groups. Decide what is the non-negotiable for you and what changes you are prepared to make. Why not chat with your team right now to assess your current curriculum and see if you can find any ways that it could be strengthened for your context. Check out the range of resources on our website, baptistcfm.org.au. You'll find a number of resources for children at church, including a comparison of some of the curriculums being used in Australian churches at this time. Your goal is to find material that helps kids genuinely engage with the Bible and with God. So it's worth the investment in time to find what will best do that for the children of your church.